So, how about let's do this, guys? Welcome once again to Who the Heck Are We? My name is Jay De La Cruz. There's Lance Fernandez. There's Claro Manzano. There's Claudia Perrine.
Was
And I know you guys miss talking about the NBA. Am I right? Am I right?
yeah,
I think we
fantasy
talk about the
basketball
NBA
Off the
off
record, we talk
record.
about the
Yeah,
a
NBA
lot.
all the
Yes.
time.
a lot.
Uh, but today we are talking about, since it's February and it's that time of the year for the NBA fans to cast their votes on who are their favorite players in this season. Yes, folks, we are going to talk about the NBA All-Star 2021.
Woohoo.
So I hope you guys made your cast your ballots already. Pwede naman siguro
Yes,
araw
actually,
eh.
I cashed like three, and it all changed. But I have my final lineup.
No, that's the likely thing to happen. Magbabago yan every time eh. Di ba?
Yeah, every
Depende yan
week.
depende sa on the circumstances, or for example, one guy scored 50 points, then suddenly you gotta
Yeah,
make him an all-star, di ba?
correct.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, let's get the ball rolling. So let's start with, well, gotta share. You guys gotta share kung sino yung all-star niya, di ba? So let's start with Lance. Lance, can you reveal to us your official ballot for the NBA All-Star 2021?
Okay, so before anything else, my all-star ballot is based on stats and a little bit of favoritism with my favorite team, as you all know. So I should always include the Boston Celtic because that's what all-star voting is anyway. So you vote for your own guys.
Mm.
So,
So you
so
vote for Daniel Tice.
hindi.
Uy, pwede yun, eh.
Oh, you
uh,
want to see his stats and his consistency?
Semi Ojeley. With Semi Ojeley. And anyway, so for the East, my two guards are Bradley Beal and Trey Young. So Bradley Beal, given leading scorer, well, almost single-handedly carrying the Wizards as of the moment. Well, to not so good results. Pero he's leading the league in scoring, and it's very evident that he really is the top player in Washington right now, regardless of what you say about Russell Westbrook. So
Uh-huh.
he's
Yep.
number one. And then Trey Young, so essentially he's like Bradley Beal in Atlanta. Uh, Aside from scoring, he also has 9 assists per game. So that's impressive. And aside from 9 assists, imagine his height, and he also gets 4.2 rebounds per game. So para sa isang tao na parang height ni Trey Young, impressive yung 4 rebounds. So those are my starting guards for the East. And then my front court, so syempre dahil nga Celtics fan tayo, so si Jason Tatum hindi mawawala.
Of course.
Nice.
Hanggat ano yan, automatic all-star pick yan si Tatum.
Yeah.
Unless he gets traded, which I know that will not happen.
Mhm.
Ayan. So siguro kahit 36 years old na siya pero nasa all-star ballot pa rin siya. Sorry, I'm really a homer. Pero I really vote for Jason Tatum. And he has the numbers din naman kasi. Quick stats. Ayan, 26.8 points, 7.3 rebounds, 4.1 assists. So, balansyado rin yung stat niya. And then, rounding up my front court, Joel Embiid and Kevin Durant. So, Joel Embiid, who I believe, honestly, is the front runner for MVP. Kasi, I did a quick check. Parang in most of the games that the 76ers lost, Joel Embiid did not play. So doon pa lang, parang you can make a strong argument na he really is that valuable. Pag wala siya, hindi na nanalo ang Sixers. And double-double average, 10.8 rebounds, 29.1 points. And then Durant, just like Bradley Beal, he's lighting up the scoreboard. And kahit na meron siyang dalawang all-star din capable teammates in Harden and Kyrie Irving, alam mong siya yung top guy dun sa team. Kahit anong sabihin ng ibang tao na mas nagdi-dribble si Harden tsaka si Irving. It really is Kevin Durant.
Dribble bros.
who
Oh,
is winning the ayan. So, yun
so
yung East.
that's your East. Oh, before we proceed to your West selection, we need to dissect this, guys, because kasi first of all, since you're a Boston Celtics homer, I thought you would include the tag team partner of Jason Tatum, which is Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
And Brown is equally doing well, di ba?
Hmm.
Why?
Okay. So, may rule din ako sa All-Star voting. So, I
Mhm.
have to share the votes naman din to all the teams. And uh, I could have chosen both of them,
Mhm.
pero it's hard to deny Embiid and also Kevin Durant's achievement. So,
Mhm.
I could be a homer. I'd pick one, pero two, sobra naman na yun. Ang,
Oh.
parang ano na, parang minanipula ko na yung boto. So, at least kahit pa paano, based on merit pa rin yung gusto kong maging starting lineup ng East. So, I could vote for one. So automatic yan ever since there has been an all-star vote. I always voted for one Celtic.
Mm.
Kahit sinong Celtic yan. Laging may isa. Pero I never voted for two kasi unless they deserve it, like Pierce and like Garnett, ganyan. Pero I never really remembered voting two kasi 5 na lang yun and then there's like 15 teams with all of them have good players.
Mm.
So at least isa, Boston Celtic. Ano yan, Matic yan. Basta Eastern Conference. And then the other 4, again, based on stats, based on men, based on performance.
Okay. Kailangan basta may maiiwang Celtic.
Oo, hindi pwedeng mawawala yung Celtic. That's why you're a fan eh. Oh.
Oh, okay, I get you. Sige,
Ayun.
let's go to the West next.
Okay, so ito yung Western lineup. Western Conference. Okay, Western Conference. Point guards, guards pala. I have Damon Lillard and ito surprising siguro to for the three of you, Donovan Mitchell. So I have to give credit
Not
to
so surprising to me.
Good. Isn't he like injured?
not really sure pero I
Yeah,
have
he's
to
injured. He didn't play.
I have to give credit pa rin for Donovan Mitchell for essentially being like the lead guy in Utah right now. Impressive yung ginagawa ng Jazz as of this moment and he's the closer. Yeah. Clarkson is like your pinch hitter and then si Donovan Mitchell pa rin yung closer. So kahit na yung stats niya is not comparable kung kumpara mo dun sa ibang Western All-Stars. I mean yung averages na hindi ganun kasing taas pero I give him credit for the leadership that he brings in Utah.
Mhm.
And
Real quick, Utah's number 1 in the league right now as of
Yep,
recording.
that's right.
Yes.
Recording
They are.
Feb 5 Philippine time.
Mm-hmm.
They were on an 11 winning streak and then they lost against Denver.
Yeah. So
Mm.
ayun. So ano na yun, after like 22 games they have only lost 5. So impressive na rin siya in a way. So Donovan Mitchell and then Damian Lillard. Well, stats-wise, Damian Lillard, maganda kasi yung stats niya. So 29.7 assists, 4 rebounds. So all around performance. And again, I could have put McCollum kasi there's naman si McCollum. Pero yun nga, I retain my vote na one team lang para walang
Oh.
Ayan.
No, McCollum was playing well. Injured.
Oh, and
Mhm.
for me, McCollum's relatively playing bad.
Yeah,
Mm.
not doing that well.
Ayan. So yun yung guards ko and then front court. Ayan, okay.
Oh, who's your front court?
Kawhi Leonard 1.
Mhm.
Kahit na medyo nagpapakita si Paul George as of late, pero Kawhi Leonard pa rin is the unequivocal heart and soul of the Clippers. Regardless of how many words he says, siya yung talaga core ng
Still the fun guy.
man get. So yan, 1.
Okay.
Kawhi. Pangalawa, Zion Williamson. Why Zion? Kahit na hindi rin maganda yung record nila. He deserves being there. Parang lang siya. Siguro ito yung entertaining pick ko out of the 10. Kasi di ba pag All-Star, kailangan may entertainer ka na.
Mhm.
Puro dunk, puro ganyan. So siguro
He'll
naglagay ako.
He'll break the ring, no?
For
So
them.
si Zion, break the ring, break the board. break the entire stanchion whatsoever. Ayan. And the third front court, si Nikola Jokic. Kasi just like Embiid, parang maganda lang din yung simula niya sa season. Almost triple-double average. Doon lang siya nadali sa stats, 8.4. Pero 26 points and 11 rebounds. Tapos bouncing back din ang Denver ngayon eh. So parang malaking factor.
Well, they just lost kanina.
Ayun.
Just
But the Lakers pero yan. Ano yun? Parang nanggaling sila from a worse situation and then they eventually became 12 and 9 yata ngayon. So kahit sabihin mo si Jamal Murray yung top scorer ng Denver, it will not work without Jokic. So tsaka maganda lang din hindi mahirap gayahin yung laro ni Jokic. So at least you have an all-star na parang okay, if you're a big guy, you can pattern your game after this guy. Ayan, hindi siya flashy pero he gets the job done. So yeah.
And one thing about Jokic, no, this season he's more aggressive offensively, di ba? Although his passing hindi bumaba yung passing game niya, his rebounding game, pero yung scoring, no, he's attempting more shots this season compared to sa bubble, di ba?
Yeah.
And yun yung isang criticism kay Nikola Jokic during especially the Lakers series, na he could have taken more shots, di ba?
Yeah.
Instead of being a rotation guy na dadan sa kanya yung bola and he look for other scorers, whereas he can score that ball himself, di ba? What do you think, guys?
The bottom line with Joker, just put him in there.
Yeah.
He's saying he's being more aggressive.
Yeah.
It's nice to see a big man with moves like that and with that vision. It's like
I was just gonna
maybe
say that.
just think of the Gasol brothers on steroids. No, I think that's it. There's a thing with European big men in passing. It's because of the international style of play. They move the ball a lot more there. There's less dribbling. So that's a treat to see. So let's put him in.
That's right. I was gonna say his vision as a big man, grabe. He could, if there's there's a thing called positionless basketball, he could be the point guard. Diba? Kaya niya maging point guard.
Yes, he has the
That's how
tools.
good he is. You know, his court vision is amazing. Yeah.
So
I have his yeah.
So Lance, may tanong ako. Just one last question.
Okay.
Do you have a difficult cut on your lineup? Yung heartbroken ka na wow, hindi mo siya nasama. Well, because you can only choose five.
Jaylen Brown. Of course.
Jaylen Brown. Oh my God, nice.
I think parang iniisip ko kasi na parang when I was voting, it's either Brown or Tatum. Just one. Kasi yun nga, I always maintain na kapag all-star voting, at least one player per team should make it to the starting lineup. Para hindi dominant yung isang team. Even the Celtics. So, I really had a hard time choosing between Tatum and Brown. So, eventually I went to the guy who I think will have a better upside. As season progresses. Yeah, so, that's why I went for Jason Tatum. No disrespect to Jaylen Brown, pero 6-man ko siya. As in, hindi nga 6 5.5 eh.
Kalahating katawan niya nandun.
So ganito, paano pag sinabi ni Adam Silver, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, package dapat yan. Who are you going to cut sa guards to include Jaylen Brown?
Front court ng no?
Just take it.
Jaylen Brown is...
But who are you gonna take out?
Pwede lang maglaro like Siamese twins siguro.
There's still 6 guys.
So like Karamia 5.5.
Parang three-legged race na lang sila, no? Nakatali.
Spooky.
Teka, sino nga ba yung lineup ko?
So, Bradley Beal or Trae Young? Who are you going... Sino yung kakat mo doon?
Jaylen Brown is a guard. Trae Young. Kasi parang Washington is really out. Parang mahirap na sa kanila to enter the playoffs, Washington. So, give props na lang talaga for Bradley Beal for individual season. Ayun. he really deserves to be an all-star.
Mm.
Pero si Trae Young, pwede namang mabata, tas bata pa kasi si Trae Young. So marami pa siyang
Time to be in the All-Star.
to be in.
Oh,
So si Trae Young na lang tatanggalin natin. Tapos pasok natin si
it's
Jalen.
pretty good. It's pretty good point right there. So, Claudia and Claro, may tutol kayo sa ano? Do you have any objections in
Wala
that?
naman. Ako, wala.
The thing with the All-Star game is
Mm.
it's pretty much a popularity contest, so you can't really question people. We're not asking for the greatest of all time. Who do you want to see on the stage? That's it. So I think this one's fine. It's just show your preference, and then majority wins here.
That's
Then you
right.
get them into the starters.
Oh,
If your player doesn't, or if the players you root for don't make it, just leave it up to the coaches, since they'll select the pool of the All-Star reserves, players who come off the bench.
okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. Once we hear the selection of Miss Claudia Perain,
Yoo-hoo!
time to
All
compare.
right. Okay.
Time to compare lineup. So Claudia, go ahead.
I had to go I had three choices, right? I showed you my first two, but I finally voted my finito lineup for the East. No, I'll go West. I'll go West first.
Okay.
Si Lance started with the East. No? So my guards would be Steph Curry, right? I think that's already a given.
Mhm.
He's an amazing point guard. Assist, 3-point shot. He could close his eyes and shoot from anywhere down in the court, and it will still go in
From the logo.
from the logo.
Or half. Why not? Diba?
Yeah, average.
rim.
He's currently averaging 28.2 points per ball game, and he is the leading 3-point field goals currently.
Yes.
3-point field goals. Yeah, I think he has 100 3-point field goals made.
Mhm.
Wow, that's pretty. It's pretty good, right? The second one was Buddy Hield. Okay, so my first choice for the guard position in the West. The second is Luka Doncic. So his team is not doing well at the moment. Sadly, they've been losing badly, but they won today. They won today. I think did they have a game or was it yesterday? Won
They
against
lost today.
Atlanta.
They were beaten by the Golden State Warriors today.
Today, but they won I think against Atlanta yesterday. Yeah.
And very unfortunate because this was the day or the night na si Kelly Oubre nagwala.
Grabe, 40 points.
So, so
I won't be surprised. I won't be
Kelly-
surprised if Oubre has like all-star votes after his 40-point crazy
Yeah.
night.
no,
Nag-40
that,
today, diba?
oh,
And then he also had the big game earlier this week. I forgot
Yeah.
how many he scored, but right after that, the next game he ended up
Oh.
scoring like only 6 points on
Yeah, so
9% shooting. I
he's
think.
he's inconsistent, right?
Yes.
that is what's so heartbreaking about the law of averages, di ba? Yung hindi mo alam kung kailan darating yung araw na babawi where the tides will go on the other side of the sea.
Ay, ganito, Sir J. If
For
you're
Game
Kelly
of
Oubre,
basketball.
Oh, for Kelly Oubre.
if you're Kelly Oubre, your law of averages, that is very extreme. Very high,
Yeah,
very low.
No, he
It's
was
not
doing good naman
just
sa Phoenix, di ba?
yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
Charles
so-
Barkley Charles Barkley was mentioning that it's a big mistake for Phoenix to let go of Kelly Oubre.
Mhm. But
Pero
let's not forget how he was with the Wizards. He was a wild one
He
there.
was a wild one in the world.
Yeah, oo.
But he was also pretty good in the bubble
He was at his best in bubble actually.
Yes, in the
Yeah.
bubble. Okay. But the bubble was short again.
But let's reserve that for another
But the
quiz. Go on.
Phoenix was 10-0, 8-0.
8-0 sa bubble.
Yeah. So anyway,
Undefeated.
Go ahead with your list.
Doncic because of his assist level, which is like 9.4, right? So I love point guards. I love guards, especially that are assist first. You know, they play make first before they actually shoot. And the good thing about Doncic is that he's not flashy, but
Yes.
he will make his move flashy even though he's not intending to be flashy. Unlike
Yes.
Curry is very flashy and he wants to be flashy. Kaya gusto ko yung dalawang combination na yun.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm. Suave kay Luka eh. Yes.
Yeah,
Go
right?
ahead, go ahead.
Suave. So okay, there's one flashy point guard and there's one that's he's not flashy but he's flashy. All right, so my front court, all right, halos pares kami ni Lance. So, Jokic and Williamson, Zion Williamson. Uh, the same with Lance. Si Zion, I want him there. Kasi parang he's a monster in rebounds and he's just dominating the big man position. And I see him also as uh as a future superstar, no? So long as he doesn't get injured, right? Si Nicola, right, is because of his passing skills. I like his vision. I want to see in the All Star the highlights of passing behind the back, closing his eyes. He does that. So I want to see that kind of flashiness or what do you call it? Like yung, di ba remember White Chocolate, Jason Williams? That kind of sana,
Williams.
di ba? That kind of passing sana. My other uh, uh, the post or center, even though I don't like them, even though they're the most
LeBron.
hated team, no. Even though I do not like them to the core, and I will say this, and people, viewers, you can bash me all you like. I hate the Lakers, right? But I love Anthony Davis. He is playing so good, especially against the game against because they lost against my Sixers by 1 point, but they lost against Pistons and they played against one more team where he was really dominant. He really played so well. See Anthony Davis,
I think that was
and
Cleveland.
was it? Yes, it was Cleveland. That's right.
Uh,
And his shot, his like fadeaway shot, from the post, galing. And then his IQ level is pretty high.
hmm,
He can also pass. And I want to see him with Luka Doncic. I
hmm,
want to see him and Curry together as well. So
hmm.
that's my West.
Before you go to the East, Claudia, very quickly,
Sige,
I
sige.
just want to go to Lance. Lance,
Mhm.
why should Lillard start instead of Steph Curry?
Okay. Why should Lillard start
Mm-mm.
instead of Steph Curry?
For my lineup,
Tough.
It's gonna be one lineup in the end. The
because
NBA will have a say.
because one could shoot further in the logo than because Curry was the first one to shoot from the logo, right?
Yeah, and then Lillard just added attitude shooting from the logo. And
Yun.
why Lillard? Well, I really don't have any answer, but siguro in season, well, alam naman natin na Klay Thompson was already out prior to the season.
Mm.
So I guess my best answer would be Lillard adjusted on the fly in season uh with Nurkic out and Cantor going in. So he really had to carry more of the load, I guess, for Portland. Pero I don't know. I just voted for Damian Lillard. Really, no specific answer.
Oh.
But Steph Curry does true to be in the Western Conference lineup. Pero I I just
Pero
feel
ito,
Lillard better.
Lance, would you feel if, for example, compared to the bubble season, what if CJ McCollum didn't opt to play in the bubble? Would you think do you think Dame Lillard could carry that Blazers team to the playoffs?
Yeah, I believe he can. He will be scoring 70 a night. 70 and then like siguro 12 assists ganyan.
Sino si Lillard to?
Si Lillard
Yes.
without McCollum, so he gets all of the ball. So
Mm.
siguro the other guys would score 10 ganyan. Yeah. Lillard will score 70. So he does have killer instincts naman si Damian Lillard.
Mm.
He does have the finisher's mentality also. So I would have no doubt that he can carry the team to the playoffs. The question is how deep into the playoffs. Pero like first round he can do it. Pero once you go further like semis and conference finals, that's the time you need a more complete team. So So with just one superstar with one all-star, it'd be impossible. Pero first round, even without McCollum, they can do it. I have no doubt.
Mm. What do you think, Claudia? Is it okay if sa lineup mo, sabi, wag si Steph, si Dame gamitin natin?
Yeah, he was actually in my choice.
Mm.
Yeah,
I'll share my answer later when I
Oh.
reveal my lineup.
yeah, he was actually
I
For
was
a
about to
twist.
ask you, Claro, pero I know you have interesting choices in your lineup.
he was actually part of my list to add to vote. But I voted for Curry. I also had other players before that, but
Oh. Go
I
on with your West. We'll find out later kung sino yung the hardest cut mo.
oh god my yeah I had a lot of harder cuts for
Oh.
both West and the East. Okay,
Okay.
so
Go,
for
Jay.
my East, Bradley Beal, number one. Oh my gosh, that guy is killing it.
Come on.
He's killing it. Like he's out there, even though you could see that he's frustrated, even though he's like scoring 30 points, above 40 points, even I think nearly 50. He nearly broke his personal best, but yet they're losing. But he is out there playing uh like in fact an MVP. If the Washington Wizards were higher in the standing, he would be probably part of the top five in the MVP. He's a scoring leader. What Lance said, with 34.8 points per ball game. That is insane, right?
Sobrang
Insane.
taas, grabe.
That's grabe. Unbelievable. My second, and this is because I love him and he's my favorite player as of the moment. You guys should know this. I always talk about him.
Matisse Thybulle.
He was one of my hardest cuts. No, Ben Simmons. Of course, I would never not vote him. It is because he is my favorite.
Aussie, oi, oi.
Oh, that's right. Aussie, oi, oi, oi. So that's why. And his court vision, and his defense. Nako, his defense. Siya tsaka si Thybulle in the zone defense.
His defense did improve.
Oh my
yes.
goodness.
Yeah, that you play zone defense with your length, you'll still be able to stop outside shots.
Yeah, that's right. My God, the guy, he can't shoot 3-point shots, but once Ben Simmons finds his 3-point shot, he will be unstoppable.
And magcha-champion yung Sixers.
And champions, I still predict that it's the Sixers in the finals. If they lost really badly today, it's horrible. But with like a depleted line of Portland, I can't believe you guys. Okay, so that's my guard positions.
Real quick with Sixers, I think they'll go far.
They'll go finals.
If Ben
They'll go finals.
figures out his shot.
They're gonna beat the Nets. The Nets that can't even defend. And then
I'll reserve that topic for another.
yeah,
place.
okay.
I have a feeling
My front
how the
court.
Sixers will go far.
The
Go
front
ahead.
court. Giannis, Kevin Durant, and just like Lance, the potential MVP, Joel Embiid. Rebounding pa lang, they're monsters, these three. Joel Embiid, gosh, that guy is unstoppable. He drives to the basket, you have to block him or foul him. You guard him up, you upfront him, he'll just turn around and take a fadeaway shot. That guy is good. That guy is
he makes his free throws.
level. And he makes his free throws are on the dot. They're really shot. Okay, they're really good, not shot, but good. Kevin Durant, after his surgery, damn, he is like better than ever. I mean, this is what Achilles heel injury, then a calf injury, and then he's playing this way. Grabe. The guy needs to be in the All-Star. And Giannis, because he's a MVP, the guy needs to be in the lineup. So that's my East. Ganda ng lineup ko, ang hirap nun. So there. I think Jay froze.
Yes, he did.
All right. So my hardest cut, if he's gonna ask me, I have a lot of hardest cuts. Okay, for
Game.
Yeah, just
for my East, my hardest cut for the guard was Levine, Zach Levine.
Oh
That
yeah.
was yeah, diba?
Yes, yes.
Zach Levine was one of my hardest cuts, and then that's it. That's it actually for the East. For the West, see Booker was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Booker.
Yeah,
His
Devin
assists are down though because he's playing with Chris Paul. So
yeah, but Chris Paul is
of
playing
course.
so good, huh? Chris Paul is the veteran he is. He's playing good.
Yeah, so Booker gets to focus on scoring. That just explains why.
That's
course.
right. That's right.
But
But
playing the team game. They're
yeah.
not. It's not after stats.
No, it's
Naman talaga eh. If they can win, why not?
the other one who I cut prior to this was Christian Wood.
The crucifix.
Yeah, dude, his rebounds. Goodness me, bananas. You know, after what's his name got traded, Harden got traded, Christian Wood's season, I mean, it just skyrocketed like the Houston Rockets, like the Rocket.
Oh, and when Christian Wood was getting his chances with the Rockets, even with Harden, Christian Wood was playing like he wanted James Harden to stay.
Yeah,
He was
oh, so
playing
that.
like it depended on him.
Yeah. But he got injured. So
Yeah, today.
yeah, he got injured today. But I voted. I had to cut him. He was in my vote for the two, but I had to cut him prior to getting injured, and I replaced him with Zion Williamson. So yeah. Oh, hi Jay, welcome back. What happened to you?
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Claudia just wrapped up hardest cuts.
Yeah. I had
Oh, yeah, you kinuwento mo sa akin isang araw Christian Wood.
yes. He was my.
You love that guy. He was very di naman natin masasabing unexpected, but he know na it's just a matter of time na his game's gonna go up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what.
Rockets was the best thing that happened to him actually.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
The
More
trade of Harden.
got more touches.
Simply Rockets for Christian Wood.
Finally got a pass first point guard in John Wall, so it worked for him. So,
That's right. And then
Okay.
Jay, my other hardest cut sa East naman
Curious.
is Zach Levine.
Oh,
I exchanged him for Bradley Beal.
yeah, it's hard to cut Bradley Beal right
Oh.
now.
Yeah, that guy's crazy, and the guy's
Oh.
insane.
Sir, si Zach Levine.
no.
Siya. Parang in a way, parang siya rin si Bradley Beal sa Chicago ngayon.
Yeah.
So it's just that Bradley Beal is like in another universe.
Grabe, galing.
I'm going to ask something about related to that topic later on. I just want to hear Claro's lineup first, just to complete this thing, because so far, meron akong binubong score dito. So far, the score is 3 for Lance and 3 for Claudia. I'm gonna tell you guys later about that, kung ano yung score na yun. Pero before we go...
So, tayo kami ni Lance?
Yes, you are
Yes.
tight actually for this one reason. Mamaya sasabihin ko yun. I just want to hear Claro's lineup first.
Yeah,
Claro,
so to
go
keep
ahead.
it fair, Jay isn't giving the basis. He's just tracking score of something.
Yes,
That's
and
right.
just-
That's right.
Maybe unique choices. That's my guess. Anyway, let's go. Maybe West muna. Less
Okay.
controversial. Okay. First, LeBron James.
Oh my, LeBron.
Come on, Claudia. I just told you.
You know, it's like
All-star.
sorry.
Popularity contest. Bradley Beal said it on Old Man in the Three. He said he doesn't start because it's a popularity contest and he's not the most famous guy out there, right?
Yeah.
John Wall was the lead man of the Wizards for how long? Okay. So I got LeBron and then I got Kawhi, the fun guy.
Kawhi.
Guys. Yeah, Kawhi. And then you got the Joker, of course. I agree with you. Why? And it's nice to get an international player there. Of course, you look at the way he plays. He's a very dominant player.
That's right. Okay.
So, who knows? Maybe he'll go like Shaq and then he'll be on the perimeter and he'll start going skip to my Lou with the fancy dribbling. Shaq did it too before.
Yeah.
Okay, ito yung mahirap. Guards.
Okay.
I say Curry is one. He's a lock. And then the second guard spot was tough because I was thinking there's Dame and then there's Luka. But first, I did some research. I think Dame never got a start as an all-star.
That's true.
Yeah, always as a reserve. Luka got the start already. And you see how Dame always keeps his team in the game, in the hunt every year.
Mhm.
And normally you see him spoiling Laker moments, whether lalo na nung kulelat yung Lakers noon, no?
Mhm.
And even with the LeBron, Anthony Davis Lakers, they would still be able to pull off W's for them. Oof.
Mhm. So
So
who's your choice?
I go with Dame. And at the same time, come on, the guy deserves it. Luka is still quite young, so he has some years ahead and more chances. Give it to Dame. I remember there was a year where Dame wasn't named to the reserves. And then the Portland police station tweeted that they're going to investigate why he
Oh
wasn't
my
named to the
god.
All-Star game.
Are you serious?
Yeah, when you see the
That did,
cross of
yes, that did
everything.
happen.
Yes. No, but eventually, sort of happy ending, Dame became a replacement. Someone was injured. I forgot who.
Okay.
At least he still made it. But
Okay.
it's just sad that he didn't make it
Uh,
initially, no?
so to
Okay.
check that, you have Curry, Dame, LeBron, Kawhi, and who's the fifth guy?
Joker?
Okay, Jokic. Got it.
Yo.
Okay,
Oh,
so for East,
uh,
no?
mhm.
Um, this is the more controversial one, I think. You'll find out why. Center Giannis.
Okay.
So wait, is the All-Star game, is it gonna be Team LeBron, Team Giannis like last time?
Yes, it's. I think it's gonna be that way. They're just gonna grab equal number of starters from both
Mm,
conferences, pero they're gonna do drafting again. So
yes.
So means
and
why are we voting when LeBron's gonna be there? Oh, I'm kidding.
It's a formality for LeBron and Giannis. But yes,
Okay.
if ever it becomes Team LeBron versus Giannis,
well, the top vote getter is gonna be the team captain. You have to remember that.
mhm,
Don't you know
Later,
Derrick Rose is actually number one before
uh,
Bradley Beal? I mean Westbrook and Simmons. Okay.
really?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
later, I'm gonna check the returns.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sige. Sige. Go.
Go
Go.
ahead.
Start simple first. So Giannis I already mentioned. And then KD, of course. It's still weird seeing KD in the Eastern Conference, ah. Nasanay ako sa West.
Yeah.
It's
You
Yeah.
it's
want to
just
celebrate?
weird. And then eventually he'll join, no? Oh, please no.
Just kidding.
Okay. Ito yung controversial na. I say Hayward because he's my fantasy player and because he's playing the best basketball of his career, pretty
I don't
much.
think that's controversial.
This is
That's your thing.
okay. I think controversial because I had someone else in mind. Eh. I thought of Embiid. I dropped Embiid for Hayward because Hayward's my fantasy player. If Embiid was my fantasy player and not Hayward, okay, why not? If Lance was going for the Boston Celtics homeboy approach, I'm ditching the Houston Rockets approach now. I don't think anyone deserves to be a starter at this time, and I will give bias to my fantasy players. After all, you get to pick. It's kind of like a popularity contest. So there's Hayward. This is throwback the way he's playing. It's like how he was back at the Utah Jazz. Okay, ito na. For guards, I will go Bradley Beal. I think I put him over Trae Young.
Okay.
Simply because of how Bradley Beal is balling right now. Yes, they are at the bottom of the standings, but he's just continuously, pushing his limits.
That's right.
Breakout eh.
Yeah.
And he already established himself as a dead eye scorer. Tagal na.
34.8. God, crazy.
Exactly. Who
Crazy.
an average like that? No, what? I mean, he already established himself as a scorer in the past. And then he's still continuing to push his numbers up. That's
Incredible.
great stuff,
Mm.
right? Okay, ito sa fantasy bias, Fred VanVleet.
Because of the 54 points.
The 54 cements it for me.
Sabi ko na nga ba, may
I was
multi-pick yan eh.
I was initially thinking of someone else. Who was the other guy I was thinking of?
Ben Simmons?
Oh, no. Honestly, no. Honestly, no.
I'm kidding.
Baka
Shake,
Zach. Sorry,
Zach
Lance?
Levine.
Tyrese Maxey,
Tyrese
Oh,
Maxey.
no. Come on.
Shake Milton.
Not even.
Nice.
I think it was someone like Zach Levine. There's really someone who's really up there in terms of their output, but I went Van Vliet. Come on.
For one
Parang
Yes.
it's like a random superstar. Say random NBA player.
one
that
day
you just-
superstar, you mean?
Van
Oh,
Vliet?
one day. Just
One
one
day
day
super,
superstar.
not
Well-
one day star, so one day superstar.
You put into perspective, he is a stats machine if you put that as basis.
Pero can he
He
lead a guy to a championship? That's a question.
lead them to a championship, bata pa siya. So the Raptors are struggling as we know it, but they're giving him so much playing time because the guy is still young. He's 26 years old, so they just let him go figure. So there's time. But the Raptors as a whole, they're missing something, right? That's why they won with the fun guy.
They're-
Anyway, it's an all-star game. It's not championship. We're not talking about championships,
We're
right?
not talking about, yeah.
Yes.
Sabagay,
to
Okay,
answer quickly, it's Siakam who's missing.
for you.
Yeah.
Oh.
I should have taken his game a notch higher with the exit of Kawhi Leonard. He should have been the guy replacing. But for some reason, either he just stayed the same or to some extent regressed. I
Mhm.
mean, they already have a good center in Chris Boucher. I mean, Aaron, the other guy, Alex Len, is already out. Chris Boucher is emerging, so we have a center. Then Van Vliet, and should have been Siakam, and then Anunoby. So that's an interesting,
OG. Yeah.
that was interesting lineup sana. Pero Siakam talaga is the one, like, I don't know if it's the fire. Like, he really isn't like an alpha guy. He really needs somebody of higher stature to make his game shine. But I guess it's really him. That's the missing link for.
He
the
not
Raptors.
there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And okay, so Claro's lineup, hardest cuts.
Hardest cuts. Luka, that was the hardest one.
Okay.
With East, I think it was still hard to cut Trey Young. Yes, it was still quite hard to cut him, but it's okay. Again, like Luka, he's still young. So eventually, why not? We can put you in. And they still have their chance to, of course, change the game and make an impact. And I just want to say, hindi na to hardest cut, dream lang. I wanted to see Ray for Alston play in an All-Star game just so he can go skip to Mailu and one.
Oh my
But
gosh.
he's not an All-Star. Wasn't an All-Star back in his career, right? I just wanted to see him play street ball in the All-Star game. Pure entertainment na talaga yun.
Isn't it too late for that?
No, I wish. Yes. I wish that he did, but of course we can't. That's not gonna happen. Lalo na ngayon.
Would be nice if he can continue his career in the Big 3.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, he would be better suited in like 3-on-3. That's where he can like show his street ball. Yeah.
Actually,
That's the perfect platform, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the court is more open. So
Mhm.
see,
so
sorry, go ahead.
done again. So
Yeah.
naalala ko lang dati sa Big 3 yung parang there's this reporter who asked Stephen Jackson. Ayun. Could Kobe Bryant dominate the Big 3? It's parang yung mukha ni Stephen Jackson, parang seryoso ba yung tanong? Kung 5-on-5, no, parang wala lang sa kanya. Paano kaya yung tatlo lang yung bantay?
Easier.
He could have scored like all 40, 50 points.
Yon, yay.
Kobe will just clear his two teammates, no?
May 4-point shot.
Ayun.
Big 3.
Tas,
He could just make like 12 4-pointers and then 1 2-pointer tapos na yung laro.
and then he'll tell his teammate, yung dalawang big man niya, parang Tristan Thompson, taga-rebound lang, no? Just got the rebound.
Yung taga-rebound, ganun lang. Kahit Sally tsaka Chris Mim. Tapos
Oh my
Kobe.
gosh, Chris Mim.
Come on, let's give Kwame Brown a chance, di ba?
Kwame Brown.
Doon, basurero, full-time basurero.
Kwame Brown, Andrew Bynum, tapos Kobe, Big 3. Champion yun.
Oo. Tapos tapos yung bench player nila, he won't play him, si Kobe, Smush Parker.
It's a
Smush
Steve.
Parker. Oh my
They were
gosh.
never, they weren't in good terms, Kobe and Smush.
It's
Si
a
Smush.
Stephen A. favorite.
Smush. Tsaka
Smush Parker.
Slava Medvedenko. Yan.
Medvedenko.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Guys, may gimmick ako real quick. I want a brotherly all-star game, quote unquote. But this will never happen. Gimmick lang.
So
So
Lamelo.
we got the 2 Ball brothers, and we got the 3 Holiday brothers. That's 5.
Yeah.
And then you got Giannis and brothers. That's 8. And then you add the 2 Currys. That's 10. You have four families represented.
Oh, you can do
Represent
that
it.
on a, you can do that sa 2K.
All-star game.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
you
can
can
do
do that
that
in
on a
2K.
2K
Yeah,
game.
but if you had your choice in voting, but the balance here in the West and the East, I didn't do the math anymore. I just got the idea
Oh,
right
Then you
now.
could have cousins as coaches, Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady.
Yes, yes, they're distant relatives.
Yeah.
Sayang.
Yeah.
If Jello Ball was still in the NBA, he would have made things more difficult because if you do three balls, three holidays, three Giannis and brothers, and then
Substitution.
the Currys, that becomes 11.
no, the question is kailangan ba active? Kasi
I say,
Costas is not act or who's in the Lakers? Si Costas was it an
Costas
active?
is
Costas
Costas is
is in the
active.
Lakers, right?
Costas is
was
active,
he,
di ba?
Knicks? Not sure.
was he
No.
demoted?
Costas was in the Lakers, di ba?
Yeah, Costas is in the Lakers.
Yeah, but he wasn't waived, right?
Yes, he's not yet waived, but he's not in the active
Mhm.
Ah, he's
list.
not in the
I think
active list.
oh,
Okay.
No,
he's
but
not.
straight to the point, Jello's waived and is not
Si
with the team.
Jello was waived.
So that's plain and simple. He's out of there. Yeah, that's it for me.
Oh. Anyways, so the Raptors are above 500, right? Above 500 ang Toronto, di ba? Sa
Let me check.
standings.
Toronto.
Let me check right now.
Oh,
But speaking of Fred Van Vliet, his stats are pretty good, huh?
yes,
Exactly.
actually. I
But
agree.
yeah.
Oh,
Not bad.
pero I don't know where to categorize him. Pero anyways, while you're checking,
10th place. That's not bad. The East, you're still in the hunt. You're 9 and 12. 8th seed right now. Well,
okay, I know where to
there's a
score.
triple tie for 6th. So they're
Oh,
still in the hunt easily. Triple
Toronto.
tie for 6, 10, 12. And then Raptors are 10th seed, right? Number 10 right now, 9, 12. So that's not bad. They have a game on hand.
either way, I know where to put FVP on the scorecard. So all three of you have three
Oh,
so far in the
right.
scoring. Oh, pero allow me to share my all stars first before I get to that special scoring that I did. Okay.
Yes.
So my West is Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Nikola Jokic. Sa Jokic, mukhang consensus tayo doon. Okay? So sa East, you got Bradley Beal, another consensus choice.
Mm-hmm.
I put Zach Levine actually in
Yeah,
my
that was my hardest cut.
then Joel Embiid, Giannis, and KD. KD another consensus choice sa ating apat. Now, ang score ko doon, apparently it's Bradley Beal and Zach Levine. What I start on Lance is Bradley Beal, Trey Young, and Zion Williamson. Kay Claudia, I put a star on Bradley Beal, Luka Doncic, and Zion. Kay Claro, I put a star on Bradley Beal, Fred VanVleet, and Gordon Hayward. And I put a star on Bradley Beal and Zach Levine. Do you have an idea kung ano yung common dun sa mga binigyan ko ng star na yon?
I was thinking of unique choices, but
No,
parang hindi. Parang
Yeah.
hindi.
In
Kaya
common.
first time starters if ever they push through.
Okay, Claudia.
again, could you say that again? I'm looking at my
Bradley Beal, Trey Young, Zion, Luka. I actually have three pala. So, tatlo pala tayo. I forgot to put a star on Luka.
Okay,
So,
so
again, Bradley Beal, Trey Young, Luka Doncic, Zion Williamson, Gordon Hayward, Fred VanVleet. What do you think is common?
the outlet si Fred. No, Doncic nag-start na yun eh.
Uh, to cut to the chase, their teams are not on the winning side.
Below 500.
Below 500.
They're below 500. So, do you think that for some pundits or some experts, some NBA experts, do you think that the wins would be a factor on them being an all-star? Should it be a factor or it should be irrelevant when it comes to the all-star selection? Claudia, you go first.
It's All-Star is always the most popular vote, whether or not your your team is number one, whether your team's in the below the in the standing. It's always a popular vote. Of course, your performance in that team will help. Like one of my comments earlier was that see Derrick Rose has more votes than Westbrook and Ben Simmons. And Derrick Rose is a bit old. His name is not is not mentioned as much.
He's coming
Uh,
off the bench
but he's
actually.
Derrick Rose, and
Coming off the bench. Oh,
a lot of people like Derrick Rose as their idol. So they'll like what I did with Ben Simmons. You know, he's not performing well. He has 13 points per ball game. You know, so he's not really an all. His performance is not all star, but because I like him, I'll I'll uh, I'll I'll add him into my vote.
More
So
people like Rose, yes, over Westbrook.
yeah, so for me, it's again, it's a popular vote. You don't that your team that the player does not necessarily have to be in a winning team or not necessarily to be in the last. His team doesn't have to be in the last in the last of the league. So yun, it's really popular vote for me.
okay. Lance, being a stats guy, do you think wins should matter?
Wins does help, but it's not the main criteria for the All Star. That's why whenever like you always ask me who's better, I would rather check all NBA team credentials rather than All Stars because the All Star voting can be gamed. So when somebody campaigned like when one team campaigns for their only all-star and then all of their fans voted for him, so there's a higher chance of that guy
Mhm.
making the roster
Mhm.
instead of having like two guys from one bad team. Okay, let's vote for guy A, guy B.
Mm.
Pero if you have one bad team who has one all-star like Bradley Beal, so and then you make a campaign that okay, all Wizards fans vote for Bradley Beal. So hindi hati yung boto. So mas malakas yung chance ngayon ni Bradley Beal na pumasok. Aside from of course his stats. And you just have to consider that all-star voting um it's part stats but it's also part sentimental. Like well, Jordan got voted in his last all-star game pero what was the performance of his team back then?
Si Magic din got to play an honorary one, pretty much.
He was already retired, 1992, tama yun. So,
Mm.
nakakatulong yung stats, yung numbers, kasi it puts legitimacy on the vote. Pero, ultimately, it really boils down to what Claudia mentioned, popularity, name recall eh. So, doon talaga bumabagsak yung ano, yung, uh, yung boto. That's why we always have all-star snubs every year. Kasi, yun nga, may mga hindi talaga matunog na player na, uy, ang galing nito ah. Pero dahil nga, mas maingay yung pangalan ng isa, sila yung nakakapasok. Dahil sa,
Mas maingay, pero yung stats kulang ng konti, no? You
oh,
can get away with it.
di ba,
All-star eh.
there are players who have one great season but don't make it in favor of somebody who is really popular.
That's
Pero
right.
Mm.
year, down year. Parang, okay, he's not the same all-star that he once was, pero yung popularity niya nandun pa rin. So nakakapasok siya dahil
Mhm.
siya yung naaalala ng mga tao. I mean, let's face it, LeBron 5 years ago is different from the LeBron now. There is like a somewhat slide of the performance, pero he's still LeBron James. So ganun yung ano, yung all-star. So that's why it really boils down on recall, but stats do help. Put
Mm.
legitimacy on your vote.
Okay, Claro. Last question before we go to the final part.
Okay.
Do you think, or should we say, what could be your defense against people that are saying wins should matter?
I said it already earlier. All-Stars a popularity contest. Look at Yao Ming, rookie year. He already played in the All-Star game. If Kai Sotto made the NBA before Yao Ming did, Kai Sotto would have been an All-Star in his rookie year. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So, honestly,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
With all the Filipinos voting for him, oh my gosh.
exactly, right? And then we'll cause a stir on social media
That's
and then
right.
get into some fights, right?
They'll change the whole system.
Exactly. Pinoy fans will be fighting with other international NBA fans.
That's right.
The fans of Luka, the
Why
fans of
people-
Joker. Sino pa? Sino pa?
Kaya nga laughable yung ano to some extent laughable yung all-star vote kasi tama nga. So you have 100 sabi natin you have 80 million fans, 80 million Filipinos who are into basketball. And then sabihin natin ang stats kunwari ni Kai Sotto when he makes it to the NBA. Sabihin 2 points, 4 rebounds. Ganyan. Pero the fact kasi na yun nga, it's open for vote.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
everybody can make it.
Yes.
Tapos pwede ka mag-vote more than how many times, di ba?
Every 24 hours pwede ngayon, 'di ba?
Oo.
Exactly.
For Christ's sakes, that's why we always win like the most photogenic in Miss Universe because a lot of people vote like in every 10 minutes vote again, every 10 minutes vote again, every 10 minutes vote again. So that's
Mhm.
Correct.
an
So,
insane amount of votes. That's why we always win Miss Photogenic in the Miss Universe. Even before ngayon kasi nagcha-champion na nanalo tayo ng mismong big crown. Pero before
that's right.
hindi pa competitor ang Pilipinas in like the Miss Universe. Lagi tayo nananalo ng Miss Photogenic. Kasi nga, boto tayo ng boto ng boto.
You
Ano
guys are,
nangyari yun?
Jay, one thing to add for voting, it's up to you how
Oh.
you want to do it. Do you want to put your favorite players there or do you want to put the best players out? You can come up with your own criteria. If you're
yes,
if you want to be chill about it, just pick the most famous and then you go, oh no, I have 3 more spots remaining. Who do I vote for? And then that's when you go objective. Or if you're an absolute neutral fan, you can just sort out everything. Who has the best numbers this year? And then you figure out, okay, this is my top 5 for the West, this is my top 5 for the East. So really it's go figure. That's why it's for the fans. So
yeah,
have
that's what
fun.
that was the thing that I'm going to say actually. Iba-iba yung criteria ng tao. However, you can't help it. Pero kasi since you are personally rooting for somebody, 'di ba? For example, let's have this case of sabihin natin, just hypothetical example, you like James Harden, 'di ba? But right now, if you're going to check the returns, James Harden is in the 3rd place, 'di ba? Pero for example, you have this criteria that James Harden should be there because the Brooklyn Nets are winning, 'di ba? But instead, if we refer to the returns and if the All-Star game is gonna start next week, Bradley Beal and Kyrie Irving's gonna start, 'di ba?
James Harden shouldn't be there because he's not a Rocket
And
anymore.
you yourself would say na dapat wala si Bradley Beal dyan because they're not winning. Dapat nandiyan yung bata si James Harden, 'di ba? Because they're the ones who are winning, 'di ba? It's like yun nga yan eh. It's like the fans have different criteria on how are they going to choose their all-stars. I mean, parang just for the sake to end the discussion, 'di ba? Paano ba to? Agree to disagree or yeah, you have a different perspective, I have a different perspective. Let's just end at that, 'di ba? Yun yung magiging ending ng usapan doon eh.
I guess that's the beauty of to inject like my 2 cents on the All-Star. Parang it's for players, it's the easiest incentive that you can put in your contract actually. So parang if you make an All-Star team, you make extra money. So if you're
that's what
the year.
Pero that's one thing we failed to mention that to these players being selected an All-Star does matter, 'di ba? Kasi pera yan eh.
Money involved yan eh. Especially for the guys who really don't make it every year. It's a big jump.
It's
yeah,
sweeter. Yes. One thing, a story, 2008, tapos na yung all-star starters voting, and then the coaches and the staff, I think even media, get to vote for the reserves.
Actually, the coaches ang nag-aano ng reserve.
Coaches are the ones who do that.
But in 2008, when Portland was campaigning like crazy, was it for All-Star or even just MVP? Anyway, konting connection lang. Portland, the Trailblazers, they gave away iPod Nanos.
See?
Konting off topic. I think it was All-Star or maybe MVP. They gave away iPod Nanos and they were branded iRoy. And they were preloaded with Brandon Roy highlights. So you can push, you can control it, diba? I would have gotten one collector's item.
That's both buying. So,
but in essence, pero that shows you how good the NBA is engaging their fan base around the world.
Yes.
Major League Baseball is lagging behind. NFL, America, they had it on lock. Pero outside the US, NFL is necessarily good. Well, NHL is way far behind. Pero basketball, in a global sense, the moment they opened voting, it created more engagement lang talaga for them. So it made them like a household topic constantly. Isipin mo,
Yeah.
ano yun, hypothetical game between the best players in the league, and it gets talked about by media for months.
Yeah.
I mean, you have
And
the
Mm.
snoops, you have this who you think is deserving, and then afterward you talk about the performances, the videos of the highlights. So parang the NBA puts himself um, on the center stage for like, sabi natin, for a minimum of 3 months just because of All-Star. Before, during the All-Star, and then 1 month after. So
Mm.
it's a very fantastic marketing ploy talaga.
Mhm. In my own
remember the All Star during the 80s and 90s was so much better than it is now.
Seryoso pa kasi nun eh. Di
Yeah,
ba?
that
Mhm.
time. Imagine that you had Jordan against Magic Johnson. Imagine, like it was amazing. You had John Stockton and Jordan and Malone
Mm.
together, and then Clyde Drexler and in in the West with Magic Johnson, Larry Bird in the other side. Oh my gosh,
Mm.
that was serious, and they would hurt each other. And the game then was not
Oh.
fancy anymore. It wasn't
No.
like
classic.
fancy na you dribble and one on
Oh.
defense, And then but now how they when they changed the format of the All Star. Now the last before the pandemic, the All Star was the first three games are on its own, and
Yeah.
then the fourth quarter will be the entirety of the game, right?
Mhm.
Yes,
So
yes, yes. First 24 points.
it actually made it more serious.
It made it more serious. The players are playing like pustahan.
Yeah,
Winner gets a bottle of
Oo.
Coke.
yeah. So,
Diba? Sa
Oh.
park.
so and then they had the side games like the 3-point shot, the dunk contest,
Mm.
and the dunk contest before bumaba yan, it became pangit. It became
Mm.
really lousy. It was lousy until Levine and what's his name, Gordon,
Aaron Gordon. Mm.
yeah, came back and
Mm.
highlighted all those fantastic and insane dunks,
Uh,
and yun. So for me, yeah, for me, again, I always stick to the popularity vote,
mm.
Jay.
Uh,
Again, your team doesn't have to
okay.
be number one or in the
Uh,
last. Yun.
okay, so talking about popularity vote, let's go to the last part dito. So I've mentioned earlier na if the All-Star game is going to happen next week, here's going to be your starters. So actually starters pa lang to. So the players, the top vote getters gonna be the team captain of their respective teams, and then they're gonna be selecting their picks among the all-stars selected by the coaches and voted by the fans. So kung ngayon ang magiging cut-off, we're recording this on the first week of February. We're gonna air this on the second week of February, just before Valentine's. The starters would be for the West. You have LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, Kawhi Leonard, Steph, and Luka. Very quickly, Lance. Do you agree on that choice? Would you live with that?
Yeah, I can live with that. They all have merit to be part of
Hmm?
the starting lineup din naman.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, the closest, the the sixth man, yung the heartbroken player that didn't make the cut is the closest one is Anthony Davis. He's just lagging 70,000 votes behind Kawhi Leonard. So, and Paul George siya na yung malayo sa front court. Now, sa Eastern Conference, you have Kevin Durant, Giannis, Joel Embiid, Bradley Beal, and Kyrie Irving will be starting for the East. Claro, any reservations with that selection?
That's not 100% the ones I gave earlier, but I wouldn't mind. These guys will still put up a show, and they're players who are deserving at least in terms of popularity, and they also bring the skills and everything to show for
Mm.
it. So I wouldn't mind.
Oh. Claudia, I'll give you the last question, and this might be the toughest one. I've mentioned kanina Anthony Davis, the heartbroken man that didn't make the cut. You have guys like Anthony Davis, Jason Tatum, James Harden, and Damian Lillard. They're the guys actually that are just below that line.
The cusp of it.
Oh, na sila yung magiging starters. Among those four guys, who do you think should go?
Number one, I think Kyrie Irving might not even show up. Like the last time he didn't show up in 4 games in the Nets, I don't think he'll show up again
He'll attend
because
that
it's just
meeting.
an all-star.
He'll attend that
Okay?
meeting.
He'll attend that meeting.
Two things
But
will happen. Sorry, either he shows up, he doesn't show up, or if he shows up, he burns something on.
yeah, he'll sage the whole freaking so
De,
He
ganito. Sorry, work from home siya. iPad lang.
he will be replaced by Jason Tatum. Yeah. He will be replaced by Jason.
Actually, Kyrie Irving is in the guard position. Jason Tatum is in the front court position. So
Bahala na sila. Basta
Kyrie Irving,
papasok yan.
James
Because I
Harden.
don't like to put James Harden as well because I kind of don't like him as well.
Well, James Harden is the close one. Jalen
I
Brown.
know. I
Fourth.
just wanted Tatum to be there. Okay.
But anyway, still a month to go. There's gonna be 4 returns. There's gonna be 3 or 4 more fan returns that's gonna be appearing on social media. Siguro we keep this line up here and let's see. We have a quick talk about this maybe a month from now. Tignan natin if we had the right picks. But for now, the background music is playing right now. It means pinapaalis na tayo. We are going to see you next week. Bye, guys.